Goeienaand, good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. And as my regular subscribers would know, I always refer to Black Economic Empowerment, or BEE, as the sledgehammer, which is destroying the South African economy, because the obvious applies. And now I find I'm not alone in my viewpoint. Just last week, Capitec was forced to allow one of its BEE, black privilege beneficiary of its shares, to sell some of their shares, which took them out of that BEE status, this little formula that the ANC have made up to empower themselves at the top of the political stadium in life. So, what do Capitec have to say about BEE now, seeing that they have fallen foul of one of the ludicrous aspects of BEE? Despite the best of intentions, South Africa's Black Economic Empowerment, or BEE scheme, has largely been a failure, says Capitec's Chief Executive Officer, Gerrie Fourie. Speaking in an interview with 702, Fourie said that this is because the system has only helped a select few. That's spot on the money. Only the ANC cadres and people like Zuma and Ramaphosa and his mates. Fourie went on to say, if you look at BEE in totality in South Africa, it hasn't worked because it should be there to help all South Africans. And, unfortunately, it has only helped a couple of people. I think that is something we need to work on. He went on to say, there is also an attitude in South Africa that we need to work on that says, what can I do, rather than focusing on entitlement. I think that's quite crucial for our culture going forward. When asked about what advice he would give to the President, Cyril Ramaphosa, hippo eyes, remember hippo eyes? He said that the country should focus on three main points. 1, growth. Each and every person in South Africa should focus on growing and creating jobs. 2, execution. The second one is to execute. It is quite nice talking about things, but the execution is critical, because when you execute, you learn and you see what works. And that's exactly the point. There's an awful lot of talk about turnarounds and, we're going to make this thing work. We're going to create so many thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of jobs, and they do diddly squat, just sit on their big asses. Point 3, positivity. Let's be positive and look at the opportunities within South Africa. Fourie's comments follow a renewed push to enforce transformation in South Africa. Minister of Employment and Labour, Thulas Nkezi, says that his department plans to introduce harsh measures against employers who do not meet employment equity targets. In August, Nkezi expressed concern at the slow pace of workplace transformation and promised that government will now introduce new legislation to remedy these issues. Answering in a recent parliamentary Q&A session, Nkezi said that the incoming Employment Equity Amendment Bill will expedite the pace of transformation and address non-compliance with the requirements of the Employment Equity Act, or EEA. He added that this bill will likely be tabled in Parliament for deliberation before the end of the year. And just while we're on this point, the actual bill includes non-compliant companies in South Africa, or the CEOs of non-compliant companies, being put behind bars for up to 10 years. Yeah, and paying a huge amount of fines as well. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's rather like that Vicky Momberg situation with the K word. Okay, I mean, it's just all pointed at the white community in South Africa. Nkesi said that these changes will serve as punishments to non-compliant businesses in two ways. All organizations that are deemed non-compliant will no longer be able to reap the financial benefits of doing business with the state. Even non-compliant organizations that do not necessarily spend or depend on state contracts for their business will have to face consequences by being referred to Labour Court for a penalty to be levied against them. So there you go, guys. You've now got banks like Capitec coming out and stating the bleeding obvious that BEE is a disaster. All right, guys, please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for the updates. Please like this video. Please share this video. And above all, stay safe. Bye for now.